Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission will unveil a revised timetable and guidelines for the 2025 local government elections on Monday, July 28. According to a notice signed by RSIEC Chairman, Dr. Ekpali Odey, a general stakeholders meeting will be held at the Commission's headquarters in Port Harcourt by 2 p.m. The meeting will bring together leaders of political parties, traditional rulers, security agencies, religious bodies, media representatives, civil society groups, and community-based organizations. RSIEC emphasized the importance of full stakeholder participation in the electoral process. Dr. Odey stated that the unveiling of the updated election schedule will be the main highlight of the meeting as the Commission prepares to conduct transparent and inclusive local government elections across Rivers State. Frank, what do you make of this story?
Well, when you consider what is going on in Rivers State, I feel it will take place. One, because of the state of emergency. If you look at it critically, all the cases in court about what is happening in Rivers State do not have any headway in terms of how to stop whatever intention they have. And like I have told some people somewhere, under emergency, you don't expect the normal routine to go smoothly. And so, election will be held. I know that some people are also trying to see how to go to court. They have been going to court, but this emergency was placed on Rivers State by the federal government. And the state court, in a way, but the issue of jurisdiction will come into play. It will not also have a kind of a strong bite on RSIEC conducting an election because we are in a state of emergency. So we're in emergency rule, whether you like it or not. I am not in support, but I'm talking critically, considering my nature of life, going deeply to what is happening. If you believe in life, like for instance, I will tell you, if we have any emergency case here, the door will not be the way out or the exit. Any way I can disappear, I can. So the truth is that, like I told some people, RSIEC will conduct an election. I see people say, Frank, is like you are talking in favor of what is not legal. I say no. Because of the current state of emergency, whether you believe it or not. And today, I feel that by 2 o'clock, whether all these major stakeholders will go, is political. Some will also appear. Whether civil society, whether party, that place will be filled with people who will also protect the interests of RSIEC under emergency to conduct election. While you also have people from the opposing side who say, we will not be part of it. But some people will also be part of it because the invitation has been sent out. Like you also read, I have in my asset about what is going to happen. And I believe it will happen. And I believe that today, the election timetable will be made public. No, that's the main thing. The issue of going about the election, I don't know how it will go. But I know that election will be held, and the issue of timetable, that one is sacrosanct. But whatever they make the election to hold is timetable. And the moment the timetable is made public, it will give room for the election to be conducted. All we are expecting now is when will be the time for the election. That's the issue. But the issue of who attends and who doesn't attend is inconsequential when you are talking of the state of emergency. Because of that, the RSIEC is also hiding under emergency rule in Rivers State, which nobody, by virtue of our state power, cannot stop it. So all what we will see today is the chairman of the board, of RSIEC, will meet with the stakeholders in quote, whether you believe it or not. Civil society, they will be there, whether the wrong one or the right one will be there. Whether pastor or chiefs, they will be there, whether the right one or the wrong one. The interest of whatever that will be done will be protected. Now, in politics, you don't expect in this critical situation to have everything in order. But what will be in order is that timetable will be made public, which everybody or those who want to participate will participate.
Right.
Whether they like it or not, I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty of how it will be done or what. But I know that the bottom line is that today there will be a kind of pronouncement of the deadline
and the timetable
for the election.
Right.
Which will send signals.
So what kind of
to every that is the truth. It's politics.
When you say signal, what do you mean?
Whether a sensible signal or unsensible signal, it will be public, and it will also give them from who want to run to court, which I would say it will also be an exercise in futility. Because see, up till now, since 18 March, nothing has been done. No court. So in the end, the emergency will be lifted, no doubt. Just watch out. But the election will be conducted. But by the time you go to court, they will tell us it's an academic
exercise. Because probably because the emergency will no longer be
on. So what will you point to?
All right.
So the issue is that we make reference to what has been accepted and what can be used as a tool to get something. As it is now, I don't think there's anybody. I'm talking as a man, except unknown forces beyond Nigeria and beyond River State. We've scuttled the already streamlined agenda. It's an agenda already imprinted and stamped.
All right, very well.
So it will not stop.
All right, very well. Otto, what do you make of this story?
The story is a good one. I really commend the RSIEC Chairman in the person of Dr. Ekpali Odey. It's something that we have been clamoring for. It's something that we have been clamoring for because the vacancy left in various AGAs has made development stalled, and we don't want that. I totally agree with Mr. Frank. These are people who go beyond emotions and state the fact. We are in emergency rule, and in emergency rule, you don't expect the usual process. It will not work that way. This is a process that is being orchestrated in emergency rule, and in emergency rule, anything goes. In emergency rule, anything and anything possible goes for that particular thing to be achieved. And I want to tell Rivers people, if you are part of the persons invited, the civil society, the NGOs, the traditional rulers and the rest of them, I don't think there's any need for you to boycott the meeting. The problem we have is that there are some elements of persons who try as much as possible to scuttle the plan that the president have in Rivers State. You see, I will still go back to when the emergency rule came and what was the purpose of the emergency rule. People say, oh, the president is targeting Rivers State. Oh, he wants to hand over Rivers State to some persons. But I say no. He's not handing over Rivers State to some persons. He's just trying to curtail what would have happened. Rivers State was almost turning into something else. Some persons were declaring war, even in the bushes, in the creek. Why this executive governor acknowledged and said when the time is right, he will lead. And the president saw that doom is coming. And how can he curtail that doom? He had to give and made that emergency pronunciation that there will be emergency rule in Rivers State. Now here we are. They have appointed the RSIEC Chairman. Some persons say, oh, they will go to court to stop the appointment or the screening of the RSIEC Chairman. He was duly screened by the National Assembly and sworn in. Now he has called for a stakeholder meeting for date to be taken so that the vacant left in various AGAs will be filled up. Some persons will indirectly or directly benefit from it, and there will be development in the grassroots. Government is all about the grassroots. And when you talk about government without imparting positively on the grassroots, that means you are doing nothing. That's why you see that rural-urban migration is high, because some persons run from the rural area down to the urban, hereby congesting the urban where there is not even actual work. But when the local government is functional, that means there will be high level of job creation. It might be that the local government is building an infrastructure in the community. It might not be permanent job creation, about alternative job creation for that particular period of time, we will be able to curtail the youth restlessness, and it will give them the opportunity to be involved in the governance and in the process. So people shouldn't think of scuttling the process that already be established, of them going to the meeting today to take a date for Rivers State local government election. We need leaders in various AGA, the chairman, the councillors. This is 317 wards, for God's sake. That means we are going to have 317 councillors. It will be impactful. Persons will benefit. You know, their well-wishers, cronies, and the rest of them, direct beneficiaries from those people who will be councillors. And we are going to have 23 local government chairmen. And those chairmen will appoint special advisors. These are employment creating opportunity. We shouldn't scuttle it. Please, I beg on Rivers people, those people who are disgruntled, those people who feel cheated, those people who feel that the state is tolling towards a one-man state. No, they should please disabuse their mind and know that Rivers State is our state, and we must put our hands on deck to make Rivers State work. And that is why I'm calling on everybody to attend the meeting, so that you won't say, oh, I'm left out, I'm going to court. As Mr. Frank rightly said, the issue of jurisdiction will come into place, and the case will linger in court. Who are you dealing with? You are dealing with the Rivers people and not a personal interest.
All right, very well. Mr. Frank, you have something to add before we move to the next story?
Today, everything we made open. And the moment the stakeholder meeting is held, the signal will be sent.
What is this with you and signal?
Yes.
When you say signal, could you just break it down for me?
Signal that, politicians, they are nesting. This is a nesting period. Okay. Whether you believe it or not. And Rivers State, for now, is building that nest for politicians to come together to have a place to lay their heads. Okay. So for me, as a Rivers man, I also believe that it is time to see how to put things right. But whether you believe it or not, politicians go into political parties, and even when they win the election, they form the government. As it is today, even my AG, I'm from Anthony, the spread is not there. The government is still collecting allocation, whether you believe it or not. But the allocation is not.
You're not feeling the impact.
No, it's not. No. Even the people. So for me, I will also appeal. Let the election be held.
All right.
I may not participate in terms of contesting election, but I like voting during election.
Of course, it's my franchise. You'll be seated here analyzing the election with me on that day.
I used to go. But the issue is today, let RSIEC also let us know what they have for Rivers people. Like I said before, by the pronouncement of emergency in place here in Rivers State, I don't think.
Can I ask you a question?
Ask me a question.
Now, considering that, there were reservations with respect to the fact that, this RSIEC chairman, right, is not from Rivers State. And it was a controversial decision. And, it gave room to some controversy in Rivers State. But considering that the RSIEC chairman is not from Rivers State, do you think it will make this election much more credible?
We're not no, sorry.
You don't want to
there's no election. Listen, let me tell you. For me, I'm not election all over the world. There's no election in the world that is credible.
Okay.
But when we say credible, it means no rigging.
Okay.
It's honest, transparent. No election in the whole world. So Shinzo Abe in Japan was shot dead during the election campaign. Are you aware? Former Prime Minister of Japan. He was shot dead about last year or 2 years ago in an electionary activity in Japan. So no election that is credible. And let me tell you for free that for me, by my way of reasoning, any emergency, okay, for instance, Odey, is he a Rivers man?
He's not.
But who swore them in? The tool was the tool of the National Assembly. So what is happening in Rivers State now is a state of emergency by the federal government of Nigeria, which has also been supported by the National Assembly. So if you are going to the state law, that's where we should be talking. That Odey is not a Rivers man. Because it is the scenario, the quagmire we have found ourselves. What is in place now is that we cannot do things for ourselves. Somebody should come and do it because we didn't know how to do it. Sorry, I'm a Rivers man to the core. If you want to, I want to be proud of Rivers. But so far as there is a state of emergency, I have told you, no normalcy in any state of emergency, even in America. Because like I said, if flood is coming through this way, nobody would want to cross the flood. You want to go away from the flood water. But flood in some part of the world is of emergency case. Are you aware? Fire like what happened in Florida some 2 years or last year. It was an emergency. Who will stay inside house when fire is burning? So for now, what I would advise Rivers people and politicians, we need peace in Rivers State. Like there's no perfect election. If you want me to talk on that, even if it's not a Rivers man, even if a Rivers man is there, we have seen election. The only election that I would say in Rivers State, sorry that a little bit credible, because I listened to someone say, "Oh, in Rivers State since 1999, no person has won election." It's not true. In 1999 election, I contested. Chidebere Okuwolu is of 80, Alliance for Democracy. In one House of Assembly, Port Harcourt constituency 2. Other councillors, other chairmen won. I mean, that's when the election was done in 1999. But coming back in Rivers State for now, the issue of Odey not being a Rivers man is about emergency. So we need to accept our fate and allow things to go smoothly, so that it's a building process. Let's learn from our mistakes, and that's the point of emergency. Because if, for instance, a wind has come to blow down this house, what do we do? After a while, we understudy and see whether we can build here or not. So it's a process of learning and how to build our future, so that those sort of things shouldn't occur again. But for me, there's no way that we can stop the election. Sorry, when I talk this, people will be angry. They say, "Frank, something." I am not in support of emergency rule, but because we have created it, it has come to stay. So let us allow it to go.
All right.
Because if we begin to fight over this election now, the review can be elongated.
because initial.
Yes.
Initial assessment.
So this should not be a ploy or a bet to say, let us see if Rivers people will now agitate and say we'll set fire in Rivers State. Then the president will say, okay,
we are extending
it. We can't do anything.
All right.
So in my emergency rule, in my little understanding, you don't expect the normal thing to take place.
Okay.
But let us think critically to allow peace to reign in Rivers State. That in the end, all of us is okay. Sorry, let's come to build. But somebody must be in office.
All right.
Like you just said, as it is today, the money is in the hand of one person, whether you believe it or not. Sorry, even in the state. I think just about 2 weeks ago, we saw Ekpali came to the. It was a Rivers State, I think. Yes, it was a Rivers State. He went to the government house. Was it public announced very well? No. So for me, Rivers people should be wise.
All right.
So that we can have access to our fund.
All right. That's
my concern.
Very well. Otto.
You know, Loresha, in as much as we find ourselves in this quagmire, I think we should be able to understand that we shouldn't usurp the power of the presidency and the power of the RSIEC Chairman. Because one, as Mr. Frank said, you know, I love people who are sincere with words. And he has been very, very sincere and truthful. I must tell you the truth. I love him so much for that. Because in as much as we are concerned, we are in a state of emergency. There is no way normality will work. It's just a matter of time. He said we should be in learning process since we have decided to put ourselves into this matter. And that is what we are doing. It's just like in school. If a child is not meeting up with the academic works, the parents tend to give him an extra curriculum activities, which means inviting a teacher to teach him at home. What have they done? Emergency. Because their child need to improve. If they don't carry out that emergency, that means their child will not improve. So in this process, we need to improve in our attitude, in our way of doing things, and we need to even harness more to be one. Without we being one, the president said initial 6 months. If we keep pushing, we keep agitating, we keep causing some issues in the river, in the state, maybe protesting and coming out to say, oh, the president has done us bad, the president has done this. The president will say, okay, these people have not still land. Let's extend it. Because they said initial 6 months is subject to review. Right. And anything that is subject to review is a testament to increment. Please, let's try as much as possible to abide by the laid down rules. What is the laid down rules? The National Assembly is overriding every process in Rivers State, whether I like it or not. They are our assembly. They are even the governor, the sole administrator is even taking instruction from them. That means whatever that is being decided in the National Assembly is being affirmed in Rivers State, and that is why you see Odey is there. Right. In emergency rule, Odey is not supposed to be a Rivers man. He's not a Rivers man though, but presently he's overseeing the affairs of RSIEC. Because we have not learned, Odey has been sent to teach us. So let's learn.
All right, very well.